Hi guys, so today we are going to be sewing this 1970s dress, the pinafore type dress with the patch pockets, and I'm going to be using this material, which is a cotton that I found in a fabric shop in, where were we? Shrewsbury, I believe. I just spotted a charity shop that I've never seen there before. We go there occasionally for shopping. It's a lovely little town, and I found this fabric shop, and that was just £2.50 a metre, and I thought it's a bargain, so I bought 4 metres, which is more than enough to do this dress. So modifications, I'm going to have to make the dress slightly bigger. The bust size is correct, but the waist is going to be too small, so I'm going to have to make it bigger. I'm going to add a little bit each side to all of the skirt panels, and I'm going to make the waistband longer. Easy modification for this dress. It's a really simple dress. I'm probably, I want to make the waistband a lot wider that way as well, because I just think I'll like it a bit more impactful. And I'm going to probably try making the bib just a little bigger to make sure it's proportionate, covers everything. So difficult to film while everyone's at home, so you probably won't get a lot of footage of cutting out and sewing and things. There'll be a little bit, but I will come back to you when it's all done, I suppose. Okay, so let's do a little voiceover here. So I've just ironed the zip opening down, and here you see I've obviously finished the edge inside. Iron that down to make a nice smooth crease so that I can pop my zip in like this. Zip's a little long, but that's okay. I could just cut that down a little bit, not a problem. And then in we go with the zip. Just using the machine by hand there to go over the bottom of the zip, because obviously there's teeth there. I don't want to break a needle just charging over the teeth of the zips. I'm just going backwards and forwards a few times to secure the bottom of the zip to the dress, and back up the other side. There we go, one zip installed. Now I've got to attach the side seams of the skirt, so we'll do that now. Just pin all that together and then sew it all on the machine. Easy peasy. Finish the seams with a zigzag stitch. Need more pins. the skirt a quick try on, make sure it all fits nice. You can see I've already attached the patch pockets there. Everything fits good. So now I am just sewing the side seams with the bib. It's all cut into one piece, and then you just fold it over at the top so the side seams down. So that's what I'm doing here. Turn that right side out. Make sure the corners are all nicely poked through. And then I'm just pinning that down to keep it still, so that when I do a top stitch, nothing moves. And there we go, there's the top stitch going in. Quick size check. Seems okay. Yep. Now this is how I made the buttons. So I'm popping in some UV resin to the mould. Camera footage is a bit shaky here because I'm doing things one-handed, so sorry about that. But there's the resin, just a thin layer, and I'm spreading it about a little bit, tilting. I'm adding a little bit more resin there, so it's not quite enough. Yeah, there we go, nice layer of resin. Excuse me, sorry. And then shake on some glitter. With nice shiny glittery buttons. Why not? Get all that in there. And then I cured that resin, put a little more on top, and then I cut some of the fabric, some of the flowers from the fabric, press them into some of the wet resin, cutting holes for the buttonholes. Push that in, make sure it's nice and secure. Then added more resin on top. And then that just needed to cure. I left them to cure for a few days. I used the UV lamp and then the sunlight as well, just popping it in the window for a few days, make sure it's all nice and set, no longer sticky. Then here you see me putting in the buttonholes on my bib. Just using the buttonhole foot on my machine. When it works, you know, it's a great tool. Sometimes I have a little trouble with it, don't know what goes wrong, probably user error, but yeah, today it worked absolutely fine. There it goes. You can maybe catch a little glimpse of my button in the back there. There we go. Now we're making the straps and sewing the two pieces of fabric together all the way down and around. And then we just clip the corners and some of the seam allowance so that it looks neater when it's turned, and then we have to turn it, which took quite a few minutes. And then once it was all turned out, we have to top stitch. Just poking it all through with the scissors there, make sure the corners are nicely poked out. Probably should have ironed it at this point, but yeah, I just pinned it in place instead so that nothing moved, and then top stitched. So once that was all top stitched, I sewed it into the waistband. To one piece of the back, to the one piece of the waistband, and then sewed the bib to the waistband, and then we put the second layer of the waistband over the top of everything and sew that all together. As you can see, I went for that nice wide waistband, as I said. Sew it all together, sandwiching the bib and the straps in between. just fold it down, poke out the corners again. Then I fold over the bib to find the centre of the top of the garment, mark that on the waistband, and then I just match that up with the very centre of the skirt, and then pin that all together and sew it together. There we go, and now you see me pinning up about 1/4 of an inch for the hem. I just did a single fold, I believe, at this point, and then I sewed that up. And then I folded the hem up further to where I wanted it, and then pressed it down. And then I pressed all of my other seams, which is what you see me doing here, just pressing the seams, making everything nice while I had the iron out. Especially that waistband seam. And then you see me pressing the waistband on the outside, and the end there just needs hand sewing. You can see the pin still in it, so I'm going to press that down nice and straight, and then hand sew that later. And then here you see me doing some hand sewing, so I hand sewed the end of that waistband short. I also did a slip stitch on the hem so that you wouldn't see it on the outside, and I sewed the buttons on. And then once all that was done, I tried the dress on again. I'm about to tell you how that went. Okay, so dress is finished. Everything fits fine. However, I should have put some interfacing in the waistband, so I need to see how that fits. If it droops like that, I might have to put another hook and eye on there. But everything fits, but the bib seems to be a little bit too big. It kind of hangs down at the corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try unpick the waistband at the top, which is going to be difficult because everything's been folded over, but I'm sure I'll manage it, just where the bib is. Then I'm going to try, again this is going to be difficult because I've already put my buttonhole holes in. I'm going to try and turn it inside out, just sew just a little bit off the sides, turn it back out, and then I'm going to tuck it in just a little bit more into the waistband so that it's just a tiny little bit shorter. It only needs like a centimetre or something. And then I'm going to top stitch across the waistband, and I'm probably going to do top and bottom the top stitch, just to, because you've got the top stitch on the bib, which I'll have to redo again. I think that will just help it match in and look nice. But yeah, so let's crack on with that, I suppose. Yeah, I really need to cut my fringe. It's horrible. So it took me a couple of days to do this. I know I'm wearing the same clothes as the intro, but that's filming. So anyway, let me sit and unpick this, then get the sewing machine out and try and fix it, and then hopefully I will be back with a lovely reveal for you. So yeah, unpicking away. About 10-15 minutes to unpick the top of the waistband so that I could remove the bib and make my alterations on the bib, which went fine. I just turned it inside out again as best I could. Obviously the buttonholes made that a little difficult, but we managed to finagle it, get it under the machine, take it in about a centimetre on each side. Absolutely fine. And top stitch. Yeah. And then here you should see me reattaching the bib to the waistband. As I say, I just shuffled it in a little bit further and then top stitched everything down. Part one of the reveal. Not brilliantly shot, I'm afraid. We've had a new shed built in the garden, so I can't film as well as I did before. Okay, so it's done. I really like it. I think it would be really cute in like autumn if I can get some, maybe a long sleeve orange t-shirt, some tights. Yeah, I think maybe I just need to shorten the straps just a little bit, which is off when we position them. But yeah, definitely gonna pop just one more hook and bar on there. I might even just take the other one off and put one at the bottom, one at the top. Probably should have done that in the first place since it's such a wide waistband. So yeah, but that is all the modifications I need to make, and I think it's a really cute dress. It's nice and light for like warmer autumn days, I think. It'll be a nice layer, like I say, over a longer, haven't got any longer t-shirts at the moment. And some tights, and yeah, I think it'd be really cute. So, hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you again soon. Bye. Here's just a little reveal while we were away on holiday. I managed to get some tights, and I have actually since got some slightly less bright orange tights to go with it. As you can see, really swishy, nice dress. Fits nice. And the cardigan sets it off nice. Nice autumnal look. Nice and bright. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.